Raja, good evening. So
Namaste.
today we are meeting with you in a very crucial juncture state and country is facing. This fake vaccination already a leader of opposition has written a letter to the Central Health Ministry. State machineries are trying to find out who are the people. So what is your stake on this?
Very clear. The opposition leader of this state has written to the health ministry, but health ministry should have been one of the regulators regulating this entire vaccination process, and they should be acting as the facilitators to the state government to see that the vaccination at large is done methodically through license affiliates and in spaces and places which are licensed to do so. All has been violated.
So, how come a person getting the vaccine vials, the permission for doing such kind of vaccination camp or anything like that, and it's grossly violating because it has come into the media that people who are injecting, they are not at all trained up, or a medical person, a doctor or nurse, they are not. So,
The matter is subject to investigation. The state investigating agencies are basically investigating on this. It would be also very wrong to give a negative comment on this because that would dampen the spirit of the administration. We should never take law and administration in our own hand. At the same time, when it is a matter of vaccination, and that too a mRNA vaccine which has been approved and given regulatory approval within a groundbreaking time, right, which is less than 18 months, right, in that kind of a situation, and when the pandemic is on, we are supposedly in the mid of a second wave, the so-called second wave, right? So in the mid of that, I think both the central agencies, including the Central Health Ministry and all the state agencies involved with the public health in general, should have been a bit more careful. And about these camps, you all know that anything that has to do with people and people services are heavily politicized in our country. So I think these all camps came up from a concept that by doing seva, by showing off the vote bank, to keep the vote bank intact, right? All this stuff has happened actually.
Personality and belonging to a all India organization, what is your standpoint that how the political parties or the socially responsible organizations should have worked to minimize the risk of this miscreants activities?
I think it's very high time in India that we realize certain ground basics, that we cannot mingle, or we cannot dilute the party with the party organization and with the government. Government is there to do certain acts, right? The political party whose government is at power, right, should distinctively segregate itself from the political part of the party, which is its organization, right? I think this distinction has to be first maintained very strictly. And people who are at the helm of the affairs in the ministries and all, the cabinet, both in the state and at the center, they should take collective decision with a standard operating procedure, right? There should be a standard operating procedure which should be in the public space, so that people know that certain procedures can be done in a particular way and not any other way, right? So they can be then very conscious and careful. And you heard a few days before, one of the honorable member of parliament from Jadavpur Lok Sabha of TMC, she went for the vaccine, and suddenly it's good that she understood that the SMS hasn't arrived, right? Then today I was seeing very disturbing pictures in the media itself, the mainstream media, right, where there was one person who has never taken a vaccine and he has got a certificate. So you understand where the loophole is, what is happening. Matter of very large investigation.
Rajab, one question which comes to our mind, being a Hindu proactive organization.
Okay.
And you people are always trying to be pragmatic on approaches, wherever the social cause
Would you be a little bit rephrasing your that word pragmatic, because pragmatism, I think, is good health for the nation at large. See, we are independent since 1947, but what is true independence? Do we have a voice of independence? Are we fear free? Can we express our true concern in the democracy? Don't you think that the people at large, they have a sense of fear within them? So what they do, they camouflage, the true voice of, being the citizen of India. I think, I would quote a very famous word, pragmatic, because, pragmatism, I think, is good health, for the nation at large. See, we are independent since 1947, but what is true independence? Do we have a voice of independence? Are we fear free? Can we express our true concern in the democracy? Don't you think that the people at large, they have a sense of fear within them? So what they do, they camouflage, the true voice of, being the citizen of India. I think, I would quote a very famous poet who said, Chitta jetha bhoy shunno uchcho jetha shir. So are we holding our head high in the sky, but our feet on the ground, right? And knowing that this is our motherland and this is our space, and nobody can destabilize us, nobody can displace us, right? But we are seeing in today's world, not only in this country, in today's world, we are seeing situations where say, I can't breathe. You remember the famous phrases, the last few phrases, I can't breathe. Today I see my democracy crying out here, right? People are remaining unheard. We are seeing in the heart of Kolkata, right? Think of, as I said in my last footage, think of the district towns, go a little bit far into the villages. Nobody is hurt. Media doesn't reach over there every day.
So what do you want to say? That is the claustrophobic environment for the people?
There is a claustrophobia. There is a fear, sense of fear. And there is also a sense of fear that if you talk large and loud against the established institution, you will be given sedition charges. I'm very, very, straight and naive on this. We are, in some cases, infringing on our fundamental rights. And these fundamental rights are encroached, means we are violating our constitution. So I leave it to the media fraternity at large to do an analysis on that, and let the people of India decide on the future of their lives.
So in a word, you are saying when we are celebrating the year and days of emergency just 2 days back, there's some kind of pseudo emergency is going on in the country.
I would not forget so easily the murdering of Gauri Lankesh, right? And there are so many situations wherein media journalists doing investigative journalism has been murdered. They have been killed, right? No mega investigations have been done. There had been people in the administration at the level of, but I'm talking about that eternal happiness which gives us a reason to live, which gives us a reason to get up in the morning and feel proud for our national flag. That happiness is something for which a Hindu will go and hold his hand and have Surya Gayatri done every morning, right? The happiness is that for which a Muslim in the morning will go to the mosque and do his namaz, right? So it's the eternal faith, eternal love, it is eternal affection for your motherland and for the soil from where you are born, which gives you happiness. And that happiness every day is taken away for XYZ reasons.
Roger, what you were saying, that's very true, but don't you think that couple of centuries social engineering has destroyed that very root cause of the happiness?
You see, the funny thing about today's world is that we are so attuned to branding and marketing, brand marketing. We are using a lot of iconic words like this, So social engineering, nation first, citizen first, but are we working towards it? I again leave it to my great citizens of this great country to decide for themselves what you want as your future. You want your future where your kids would be playing on a green field and be sure that there is a lot of oxygen around and they will grow up with a strong citizen, as a strong citizen. You want to have a country, you want to have a nation where it is heavily industrialized. An entrepreneur goes to a bank and the bank manager stands up with a confidence, with a trust, shakes hand him over the first finance that he needs, and a guy or a girl out of college or university can do entrepreneurship. The nation can grow. The base of the nation has a large set of people who earn a lot of money and a lot of money to get it reinvested in the same market. So it is how you want Bharat Bhagya Vidhata, how you want your nation to change its own fate in the hand of its own people, is what we should strive for.